Hey everyone, there's a lot we could discuss today. We're going to cover this particular case and maybe touch on a couple of other topics. It's an opportunity to learn and analyze from it, extracting lessons applicable to our lives. For those unaware, a 54-year-old named Nicolae Miu from Prior Lake, Minnesota, faced first-degree homicide charges in the death of 17-year-old Isaac Schuman during a scuffle. The incident occurred on July 30th, 2022, at the Apple River. Miu's defense argued self-defense as he allegedly stabbed Schuman and 4 others. This case is intriguing. On July 30th, 2022, Nicolae and his wife planned a leisurely day at the Apple River in Wisconsin's St. Croix County, floating in inner tubes with friends. However, events took a tragic turn when someone lost their phone, prompting Nicolae to search with scuba gear, leading to an altercation near a bridge captured on video. An incident occurred involving a person identified as Miu holding snorkel and goggles. Miu approached a group of tubers, appearing to be younger individuals or teenagers. The person filming, known as L-Man Davis, alleged that Miu had been seen emerging from bushes and taking pictures of teenage girls with the group. This led to verbal confrontation, with accusations of inappropriate behavior, and eventually escalated with more people joining in. 3 minutes later, the first 911 call reported a stabbing incident near Sunrise Bridge on the Apple River. 4 victims were reported with stab wounds to their mid and upper bodies, one of whom, 17-year-old Isaac Schuman, succumbed to injuries at Lakeview Hospital. Nicolae Miu was apprehended downstream. Initially denying possession of a knife, Miu later claimed self-defense, stating he had disarmed 2 boys wielding knives. Later, a conversation reveals a lack of clarity regarding the events, with one person expressing shock at the situation and the uncertainty surrounding injuries and identities of those involved. They discuss the ongoing investigation, including interviews with witnesses and the collection of evidence. The conversation reflects uncertainty about the nature of the incident and the role of self-defense in such situations, highlighting the complexity of the case. As for the trial testimony, Miu recounted his version of events amid a chaotic and noisy environment. Despite his attempts to communicate, he felt his voice was drowned out by the commotion. When questioned about the actions of others, Miu observed gestures from Madison, indicating for her group to approach. Despite the apparent joviality of the group, Miu felt isolated and targeted by their taunts, causing his fear to escalate. As the situation intensified, Miu's anxiety heightened, reflecting on the rising fear scale. In the courtroom, Miu described his perception of the events, including the actions and behaviors of those around him. Despite efforts to assess the situation, Miu felt increasingly overwhelmed and isolated, contributing to his escalating fear. During his trial, Nicolae Miu recounted his recollection of events, describing a moment of escalating fear and the decision to reach for his pocket knife. He explained that as his fear intensified, he prepared to defend himself by retrieving his knife. Although he couldn't pinpoint the exact moment he drew the knife, he recalled doing so amidst the chaos of being pushed and prodded. Miu described feeling stunned and afraid when he fell backward into the water, his fear reaching its peak at that moment, a sensation he had never experienced before. He recounted the traumatic feeling of his head hitting river rocks as he submerged underwater. Despite attempts to rise, Miu felt someone push him back into the water, exacerbating his sense of vulnerability. He testified to feeling a punch to his head during the altercation. Miu expressed his ongoing trauma and nightmares stemming from the incident, highlighting his belief that he was outnumbered and overpowered. Regarding witness testimony, there were inconsistencies between initial statements and trial testimony. While witnesses initially claimed to have seen Miu taking pictures, later testimonies cast doubt on these assertions. Despite regrets expressed by some involved parties, Miu was ultimately found guilty on several charges related to the incident, including reckless homicide and reckless endangerment. The discussion delved into the complexities of fear and self-defense in high-tension situations. There was an acknowledgement of the prevalent societal anxiety, heightened by recent incidents of violence and unrest. While understanding the fear Miu must have felt, there was a distinction made between feeling threatened and feeling one's life was in danger, a key factor in self-defense claims. Concerns were raised regarding Miu's actions leading up to the altercation, the possibility of him aggressively approaching the group, possibly in search of a lost item, was considered. It was noted that while such behavior might be confrontational, it didn't necessarily justify the ensuing conflict. The nuances of witness accounts and video evidence were also analyzed. It was acknowledged that videos could offer limited perspectives and could be interpreted differently depending on the angle and context. The importance of considering all available evidence, including witness testimonies and situational context, was emphasized. Reflections on the altercation highlighted the need for de-escalation and conflict resolution skills. Despite potential provocations, there were opportunities for Miu to disengage from the situation before it escalated. The presence of a knife in Miu's possession was seen as potentially influencing his actions and confidence in the confrontation. Ultimately, the discussion underscored the complexity of such incidents and the importance of careful analysis and consideration of all factors involved. While acknowledging Miu's fear and the chaotic nature of the altercation, there was a recognition of the responsibility to seek peaceful resolutions and avoid escalating conflicts whenever possible. The conversation further explored the events leading up to the altercation, dissecting the actions and motivations of all involved parties. It was acknowledged that while Miu may have felt unfairly accused or targeted, his responses to the situation were questionable. His decision to engage with the group, particularly after the confrontation escalated, raised concerns about his role in escalating the conflict. Attention was also drawn to the behavior of the individuals confronting Miu, with an acknowledgement that their actions were also far from ideal. The lack of de-escalation efforts from both sides was highlighted, emphasizing the missed opportunities to resolve the situation peacefully. The presence of adults in the group added another layer of complexity to the situation, raising questions about their role in either diffusing or exacerbating the conflict. While their age and perceived maturity might have suggested a responsibility to intervene, their actions appeared to contribute to the escalating tension. The use of force by Miu, particularly his decision to wield a knife, was scrutinized. Despite claims of self-defense, there were doubts about the necessity and proportionality of his actions. The potential influence of the knife on Miu's confidence and decision-making was also considered, adding another dimension to the analysis. Ultimately, the discussion emphasized the importance of conflict resolution skills and empathy in navigating tense situations. It served as a reminder of the unpredictable nature of human interactions and the potential consequences of failing to de-escalate conflicts. Reflecting on the tragedy that ensued, there was a call for greater compassion and understanding in interactions with others, with a recognition that such simple gestures could prevent future tragedies. As the discussion turned to the O.J. Simpson case, there was a brief exchange regarding his passing and the legacy of the trial. While acknowledging the complexities of the case and the flaws in the prosecution's case, there was a consensus that the civil trial provided some measure of accountability. The conversation concluded with reflections on justice, accountability, and the unpredictable nature of life. Overall, the dialogue underscored the importance of empathy, kindness, and conflict resolution in navigating life's challenges and interactions with others. It served as a reminder to prioritize understanding and compassion in all interactions, with a recognition of the far-reaching impact of our actions on others.
Thanks for watching. If you're fascinated by the darker side of human nature and intrigued by the mysteries surrounding crime and murder, you're in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated on the latest chilling cases and gripping investigations. Remember, the truth is often stranger than fiction, and there's always more to uncover. Stay curious, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.